DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Wednesday video report. Last night kicked off the NBA season with an easy winner, 10-dime play on the Boston Celtics, and if you read my analysis, I think it was pretty much right on the money. A couple of things you always have to remember. First of all, at the beginning of any season, no matter the sport, you always have the advantage over the odds makers. The lines are never that sharp, and also they often don't have any more clue of what's going to happen on the field or the court than you do. The other thing, and as I've said this repeatedly in videos the past few days, first couple weeks of the NBA season, it's even more important because I've always been a believer that although the NBA preseason is not as worthless as the NFL exhibition season, still not much is accomplished because you will constantly see coaches playing their starters heavy minutes one night, giving them the next night off. Toward the end of the preseason, then a couple games prior to the end, they'll give the bench, the fringe players, a lot of big minutes to see if they can weed out the roster. Then it's back to the starters seeing heavy minutes. There's no consistency. And with all the free agent movement that you had last year, with all the trade activity you had last year, more in this offseason than any time in recent years that I can remember, and of course with so many rookies being counted on to be valuable contributors, whether in a starting lineup or off the bench for so many of the lower tier teams, it really takes a while for teams to develop their own identity. And the one thing, that I think that you have to take out of all that is, and I learned this from my years as a reporter and from following the NBA just as a gambler and a handicapper as well. I think that it takes, generally, most NBA teams a good 7 to 10 games to truly get their identity, to get their chemistry, to get into the flow. Because the preseason is too short, training camp really doesn't get too much accomplished. And as I pointed out in last night's game with the Miami Heat, the reason going against them, I simply thought that there is no way you are going to have D-Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh be a cohesive unit, especially with all the fringe, and I mean literally fringe players they are surrounded by early in the year. Odds makers, of course, made Miami a very tempting play last night, a 1.5-point choice. After 3 months of hearing all the hype, how could you not, as a gambler, not want to take the Miami Heat? Well, I didn't. I went with the Celtics because I thought that was a statement game, as I told you. I thought the line was mispriced. And tonight, I found a similar game. A team where I'm going to go the opposite way of where the line is going. I think this underdog is going to win outright tonight. I think that the odds makers are once again, for a number of reasons, which I discuss in my analysis, trying to suck you in on playing the chalk here tonight, and that would be a fatal mistake. It is another 10-dime play. It is just as strong as the 10-dime winner last night on the Celtics. I also have a 5-dime bonus tonight on, far from a marquee game, guys, the Raptors and the Knicks. But I think it's a great play on tonight's card. So that's my two NBA selections tonight. Before I get to your free pick, just want to say kudos and props to the new kid on the block, Andy Finelli. You've got to go to Andy's website, to his homepage. Read about this guy. A really fascinating background. I met him through Steve Budin. This guy's father had been a big shot in Vegas during the heyday of some of the casinos that you now only hear in Rat Pack movies, the Dunes, the Riviera, although the Riviera is still there, but not anywhere near as big as it once was. Grew up in gambling circles, grew up in handicapping circles. This guy's had season tickets to the Lakers and the Clippers for 7 straight years. I think they should give him an award. Anybody that has season tickets to the Clippers for any time of period should get some type of award, maybe a Red Cross medal or something. But really interesting guy, a real street sense. I want to say street smart in terms of how he gambles and how he picks out games. Anyway, he's coming off back-to-back 50-dime winners. He told you the Washington Redskins would beat the Chicago Bears outright on Sunday, and then came back with a 50-dime winner last night on the Houston Rockets. He was at the game, of course, watching the ring ceremony. Thought it was a great time to go against LA, and picked up another 50-dime winner as well. He's much like Shawn Michaels and Bob Valentino. They do not have plays every single day, so still, go to the website, read about him. Interesting biography, as I said, has a certain interesting flair in how he puts words together too, let me say. As for the World Series tonight, I got to tell you something, guys. I don't know who's going to win the damn series. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win game number 1 between Cliff Lee and Lincecum. I mean, it would be so easy to jump on Cliff Lee, but I don't know. I think the best bets are in the NBA tonight, just like last night. I didn't want to touch that Boise State LA Tech game. That's why I'm staying in Pro Hoops. And as for your free play, God, there were a lot of games I considered here tonight, but ultimately I was going to go with Oklahoma City, but instead I think the play tonight for your free play is going to be the Denver Nuggets. We all know about the Carmelo Anthony thing. I don't have to give you a chapter and verse dissertation on it, okay? But hey, he's there. He's in uniform tonight, and he has had this game circled since the Utah Jazz eliminated the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs last year in 6 games. After the Nuggets rolled in game number 1 and Melo had a big game, then they lost 5 of the last 6. Different team in many regards. Both of these teams undergoing a lot of off-season changes. For the Nuggets, of course, they have Carmelo Anthony in the lineup here tonight, but Kenyon Martin, who had a resurgent year, a renaissance year last year after coming back with so many injuries, out again injured. Also going to be on that Chris Anderson, a valuable player off the bench, the Birdman with all the tattoos, Chris Anderson. But they did go out and get Hal Harrington from the New York Knicks. Now, Harrington missed most of the preseason, but he's expected to be available tonight. This is a guy who's a proven scorer off the bench, averaging 17.7 points, 5.6 rebounds a year ago. He will fill that niche that Kenyon Martin and, to a certain extent, Chris Anderson filled for them. And, of course, you also get the return of George Karl, who got the Nuggets off to a great start last season before coming down with cancer and then took the rest of the year off. How much does Karl mean to this team? Well, with George Karl last year, the Nuggets were 42-21. With his replacement, Adrian Dantley, in regular season and postseason play, they were 15-16. You tell me that coaching change didn't make a difference. As for the Utah Jazz, Okoro, the center, out tonight. And, of course, the big thing is Carlos Boozer is no longer there. They went out and they got Al Jefferson, who's one hell of a talent, doesn't play any defense, so in many regards he's kind of like Carlos Boozer. I think them losing Wesley Matthews to the Portland Trailblazers during the offseason, I think that's going to hurt this team because they really got some great contributions from him in the second half in the playoffs last year. So I'm going to go with the Nuggets. The price is up to 4, but that would be your free pick for tonight. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you again on Thursday.